Hey guys, it's Chris from Crafty Creations by CV coming to you today from Wallingford, Connecticut. A gloomy day, so hopefully a little crafting will cheer us all up. I'm going to be doing a tutorial on this pencil wreath. I had a request by Erica on my Facebook page if I could do one. So I decided to do a quick recording for you all with step-by-step instructions. Just as a note, this is not my design. I actually had seen a picture by Patricia Warble. She is part of the Unique in the Creek creators group, and she had posted her creation, and it inspired me to want to make one of my own. And so I took her idea and kind of tweaked it to make it my own. So here we go. So for the supplies, we are going to need 2 Unique in the Creek rectangle boards. Okay, these come as a 2-pack, so you can get these on the Unique in the Creek site, and I will put a posting in the description with the website that you can go on and purchase those at, as well as my affiliate link. So you're going to need 2 boards. You're going to need some pink poly burlap. You're going to need some yellow poly burlap. You're going to need some black fabric mesh or faux jute, as well as a natural or a beige fabric mesh or faux jute, I think that they call it on the Unique in the Creek site. So basically the way we're going to start this, okay, is we're going to take both of our boards, and it doesn't matter which way you put them. You could put your A's here, just like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to zip tie these together. Okay, so you're going to line up your boards, and then you're just going to take a couple zip ties here. And I kind of go a little bit overboard when I'm zip tying this, just because I want the board to be able to stay straight and I don't want it to bend. So it's probably an overkill, but I just don't want it to kind of, bend after I just do the zip ties. So basically I'm going to put zip ties in here. Okay. And we're going to do all across here. We're going to add our zip ties. And then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to do crisscrosses as well. Okay, so let's do this. And as usual, on rainy days, the fingers don't work well. All right, this makes a great back to school gift for teacher friends or family members. It will look awesome on their classroom door to welcome their students back. Okay, so basically we're just zip tying those up. Okay, just put these. Okay, so you can kind of leave it like this, okay, but like I said, it feels like too flimsy to me. So what I did was I'm going to do some crisscrossing here. So I'm going to kind of go on little angles, just like this. And then I'm going to tighten these, and then I'm going to do crisscrosses the other way. Okay. Like I said, I just find this just gives it a little bit more sturdiness. Okay. So as you can see, kind of giving us a little less flexibility. And then I'm going to do, again, I'm going to crisscross this way. I'll start on this top one. And just crisscross like that. Okay. And this, like I said, just kind of helps to give it a bit more stability, so you don't have to worry about it bending as much. Okay. Looks like that. Okay, so as you can see, it's a lot less flimsy. Okay, so it's not really bending there as much. So basically, that's how you're going to attach the boards. You're basically going to fill every set of holes, okay, except these little holes here. Okay, so we're going to kind of pick and choose. So you're going to fill every set of holes. So it's going to be 3 across. Okay, so we're going to go here, here, and then here. Okay, and we're going to do that all the way up. And I have a pre-made board to show you guys too, so it'll be a little bit easier. Okay, so those are the 3 you're going to have. It's going to go all the way up. We're not going to fill this row here. We're going to fill the little row above. Okay, so I'm going to move this aside. I'm going to show you what the board is going to look like. Okay, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit because this is kind of a bigger project. So let me see if I can zoom out a little bit so you guys can see a little bit more of it. There we go. I think that's going to be a little bit better. Okay, yeah, because this is a long one. All right, let's go back to that. It's still long, but at least it's a little bit better. So I'm not going to fill these just yet down here because we're going to be putting the tip of the pencil on. So like I said, you're going to have all the way up. You're going to fill all sets except this first bottom one here. And you're going to skip that there where you attached. Okay. You're going to go right above it. All right. So that's basically your board prep. I'm going to put that aside for just a moment. And I'm going to just show you the petal folds that we're going to do. Okay. So for the pencil tip, we're going to be using the black fabric mesh. Okay. We're going to cut a 10 by 20 piece. Okay. You can do a 10 by 10 if you want, or 10.5 by 10.5 to make a square. I just did it 20 because I wanted to double it up and make it a little bit thicker. Okay. So you're going to basically take it and fold it in half. I'm just going to move this down just a little bit there. All right. I'm just going to use little clips here for the moment. Okay. So you're going to take that and just fold it in half. Okay. Get another clip here. Sorry, I feel a little disorganized. I was trying to do this kind of last on a whim here. Okay, so you have your square. You're going to take your top tip down to the bottom and just kind of flatten it out. And then we're going to take your right and you're going to flip it to your left. Okay, so you're going to have a triangle that looks like that. And I'm just going to put little clips here, just like that. Okay, so that's basically what the tip of the pencil is going to look like. All right, so I'm going to just put that aside for right now. I'm going to show you how we're going to put that on in a moment, but that's basically all you're going to need for the tip of the pencil. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside. The next fold that we're going to do, okay, you're going to have your beige. This one you're going to do 6. Okay, so you need 6 10.5 by 10.5 or 10 by 10 depending on the width of your mesh, depending on what type of mesh you use. So I'm just giving you the dimensions based on what I'm using, but you don't have to use fabric mesh. You can use horizontal wide stripe. You can use really any type of mesh you want for this project. So we're going to be doing, I just call it the squared petal. I don't know if there's really a name for it, but it's just how I remember it. You're going to do curl side up. You're going to turn it on an angle so your seamed edges are here and here. All right. You're going to take your top and fold it to the middle. You're going to take your bottom and fold it to the middle. Okay. Then you're going to take your bottom and you're going to fold it up again. And you're going to take your top and fold it down again. Okay. So it's going to kind of look like this. You're going to put your finger in the middle, your hand right in the middle like that. You're going to take this right side and flip it over to the left. Okay. And then I'm just going to turn it around here. What I want to do is I want to make these 3 inches in length. So I'm going to put it on my mat at the 10 and I'm going to scrunch it at the 13. Okay. And you can make them bigger or smaller if you want. I just found for this, I used the 3 inch and it worked good. And I have little 4-inch zip ties. Okay. Or you could use an elastic band. And we're going to put it right at that 3-inch mark there. Okay. And I'm just going to clip that. And then we are going to cut the excess off. Okay, because we don't need that. And chuck that. So that's what your petal is going to look like. Okay, you are going to need 6 of these in the beige. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside. We're basically going to do the same thing for the yellow and the pink. Okay, we're going to take, if we do the yellow, you're going to have 19, you're going to cut 19 10 by 10 squares. However, we're only going to be using 13 to make the regular squares like we just did with the beige. Okay, so we have our 10 by 10. We're going to take 13 of them and we're going to turn them this way. We're going to fold top to the middle, bottom to the middle. We're going to fold up again, down again. So we're going to look like that. And then we're going to flip it over. We're going to turn it. And again, we're going to make a 3-inch in length petal. Okay. And that's going to be our yellow poly burlap. And we're going to be making 13 of these. Okay. So don't panic because I know I had you cut 19. So 13 of those. Okay. Now what we're going to do to kind of save on mesh is I made these little mini ones, okay, that are going to go on the sides of those big petals. So you're going to have, when we go on our board, you're going to have this middle one, and then you're going to have 2 mini ones on the side. So by cutting down the mesh, we're actually going to save a little bit on the mesh, and we don't need as many because, as you all know, poly burlap's a little bit more expensive than the other mesh. So how we're going to do that is we're going to take our 10 by 10. So you'll have 6 of these left. And you're going to take the top and you're going to fold it down. Okay, point to point. You're going to take the right side and fold it over to the left. And at this point, if you want to put little clips on it, you can, just to kind of hold everything in place. You don't have to. Okay, so we're going to have that just like we did with the black tip part, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a ruler and we're going to go right down the middle, okay? Just like this. We're going to put our ruler there. And we're actually going to cut this with a rotary cutter. You do not have to wood burn it. And you're going to go right up like that. Okay. So now you're going to end up with 4 of these little squares, okay? So you'll have little 5 by 5 squares. So you'll have 4 of them for each petal, for each piece of mesh there that we do. Okay, so you're going to actually be making 20 and we are set. So once you have all those petals done, we are good to go. I'm just going to get some of this stuff out of the way here. All right, so now let's put our board together. So the first thing we're going to do is our pencil tip. Okay, so we're going to take our triangle that we have here. And we're going to start by placing it here, okay, right on the bottom. And we're actually going to be putting our zip tie through the mesh. Okay, so kind of like right in the middle here. We're going to go down our center holes. Okay. And then we're going to go back up our center hole. And then we're going to zip tie that. Okay, just like that. All right, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to flip it over. We're going to take our little ends here. And we're basically just going to be folding those in. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of clip this while we're doing this. And we're going to do another zip tie. So we're going to just kind of hold it. So you're going to go down the existing hole that we already did through the mesh. Okay, and then we're going to go back up. Okay, so I'm going to put the zip tie down through there, and then we're going to go back up through the hole. And you can kind of put your thumb there, and you can kind of see where the zip tie comes through. And then you're going to go back up in here. Okay, and then we're just going to pull it tight again. And then we're going to do the same thing for this side. And then what I do is I just try to kind of make sure that it looks, the point looks in the middle. Okay, so you don't want it kind of all cockeyed here. Right. Bring it this way a little bit. Pull that out a little bit. And kind of want it so your point is, there we go, it's a little bit better. So just kind of adjust your mesh as you're doing it. Again, I apologize, my hands are not working so well. There we go. All right. It's really not hard to do, you guys. My hands, unfortunately, are not working so great today. All right, so now we have the point, okay? And then you have on the back like this. If you want to give it a little bit more security, you could either cut these off, you cut them down, or you could zip tie them together. You could take a little zip tie and just do a little zip tie like this just to keep them more secure, or you can cut them if you don't like that they're, you know, that excessively hanging over. So now we're going to be using our beige. Okay, we're going to be going up to the next row here. I'm just going to move some of this stuff out of the way. All right, so we're going to put one in the middle. So we're up on row 2 here. Actually, I'm going to go right like that. We're going to put our first one there. Okay, we're going to put our second one on the outer. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put our middle one. And as we're putting our middle one, what I'm going to be doing is kind of feeding the outers into that middle one. Okay, so this middle is actually over top of these other two here. And then you can kind of scrunch them in a little bit and then pull it tight. Okay. And we're just going to repeat that same exact step on the next row up. So we have our beige. Okay, so we're going to do our outer, far left here. We're going to do our far right on the outer. And then we're going to do our middle. Okay. And again, we're going to kind of feed this left one and the right one into the middle one before we zip tie it. Oh, turn that around. And this is another reason why I like to use the zip ties on these, is because it helps to hold them in place too, especially if we have to tug things and move things around a little bit. It just helps to keep them a little bit more secure. Okay. So then we're going to pull that tight. All right. And then we have the bottom part of our pencil. So now what we're going to do is our yellow ones all the way up. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to put, our outer one, and our other outer one. I just tend to do the outer ones first, but you can put them really in any order that you want. And then we have our bigger one. So when I designed it, I liked to put the little ones are kind of just slightly underneath the bigger one. Okay. Okay, and we're just going to keep doing the same thing. We're going to do this all the way up. Okay. So as you can see, I'm kind of doing my outer ones first. And I'm just kind of like angling them out a little bit. Okay, give them a little bit of an angle. And then I put my middle one in. This is a really easy and really, really cute project. Much props to Patricia for posting the picture. I know there's other ones out there too. You can maybe even do a single board if you want to. I think there's somebody that had done that as well. I just like the double because it will fill up the classroom door really nicely. And most of the time spent is really the prep for this because the pattern itself is pretty easy. Okay, so we're just going to be working this all the way up. All the yellows here. I think I've made like 3 of these already. They're actually a lot of fun to make. And you can do different types of ribbons. This one I changed it up a little bit. I have an autism ribbon that I'm going to put on this one along with like the school ones. It'll be interesting. Make sure I counted right when we get to the top part here. Hopefully I did. I always seem to be like 1 off, plus or minus. So as you can see, it's starting to take its shape here. And the reason why I did it like this, okay, if you wanted to, you could do this 3 across like this all the way up. For some reason in my head, I'm seeing like on the pencil where it has like the indentations and whatnot. So that's why I did the smaller ones and then the bigger one on the inside. But you could do the same size if you wanted all this larger size all the way across if you really wanted to. Like I said, I always like to just put my own little spin. I think when Patricia did it, I think she did more of a pointy petal. So you could do different types of petals, play around with it, see what you like. And this is just my interpretation of it. It's so cute. Like you can see as you continue going up. So this is where we're going to skip this row here, okay? And what I did is when I made these, I made them a little bit longer. So instead of doing a 3-inch, I did do a 4-inch. You don't have to. You can keep them all at 3 inches. I just wanted to try to fill a little bit more of the space so it didn't look awkward. So if you want to do that when you are making your petals, just make one set at like a 4-inch, okay? And that will just give you a little bit more length to it. So it's kind of filling that gap in a little bit. But you don't have to. And then we're just kind of going up. I'm actually almost there. I know it seems monotonous and tedious here, but we will get there. Okay. And you can, when we go to the bow part, you can use any type of ribbon you want, any size you want, make the bow as big as you want. Make it your own, as I always say. This could actually makes too like a teacher appreciation gift, Christmas gift for those teachers that you know. And a couple more rows. We are getting there. Oh, I love making these. They're so much fun to make. They're so cute. We are slowly getting there. We have 3 more rows of yellow, and then we'll be putting our eraser top on with the pink. And I'll make sure I double count these yellows so that when I do put the supplies and the kind of the list in there for you, I make sure I gave you the right counts. Because I feel like something's off. Because obviously if you have 6 yellow 10 by 10s and you cut them into 4s, that gives you 24. And I'm telling you, we need 26. So I'm off somewhere. And I will find out where I'm off. Okay, last row of yellow. And then we're going to do our pink. Oh, so you know what? We must only need 24. So I did give you the right number, but we only need 24, the small ones. That's why. So it is 19 10 by 10 yellows, 13 large, and then you're going to take those other 6 and you're going to cut them into the squares. Okay. All right. So here are the yellow, and then you can kind of tweak it and play around with it as you go. Okay. So like that. And I just kind of angle these outer ones. You just kind of angle them outward a little bit. It gives it its shape. So now we're going to do our pink. Okay. So we're going to do the pink like we did the beige. Okay. So we're going to do our outer ones first. So like this. And then we're going to do that inner one so that it kind of is overlapping these. So we're going to take this and we're going to feed it into it again. Just kind of open it up a little bit. And then we're going to take that outer one as well. And I'm going to just bring this down a little bit. It's the only problem. This is so long, it's hard to show you it all in one view here. Okay, so that's going to be similar like we did with the beige. Okay, and then we'll just pull those tight. Okay, and then we're going to do the next row again. Do our outer ones first. And again, that middle one, we're going to feed the outer ones into that middle one. So before you zip tie that one, just kind of make sure your corners are inside there, and then you can always adjust it afterwards. But at least if you do it that way, you don't have to re-loosen the zip tie and whatnot. Okay. So for this last set of pink, we're actually going to be facing them upward. Okay. So this is going to go this. Same concept, it's just we're flipped the opposite way. Okay. And then we're going to put our one in the middle. And again, we're going to feed the outer ones into that middle one. Like that. Okay. And then what I do is before I zip tie it, I just kind of make sure they're nice and snug in there. And then we're going to zip tie it. And that is really it as far as the mesh for the pencils. Okay. So I know it's hard. It's so long. It's hard to show it all in one thing here. And then, like I said, you can kind of adjust it how you want it. Okay. You can bring these in more. You can bring them out more. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do make our bow, and we're going to add our bow to the top. I made a bow already, but I'll go through the steps with you. So this is kind of the bow that I made. All right. And then once you make your bow, I'm going to put it on here, and then I'll go through the bow making with you. But you're going to put it in your second one down here, okay? Your middle. That's where your bow is going to go. And your hanger is going to go in these top two. So for the hanger, I generally just take a larger zip tie, okay? Ah, sorry, I just like hit my light here. All right, so we're going to go up through the back and then down the front, okay? And this is going to be our hanger. Just like that. And just keep a little bit of length to it, okay? All right, so that's your hanger. So as you can see, once you put this on here, you could see how it is more secure when you do that diagonal zip tie on it. So the bow, I always tend to do everything upside down here. We're going to take the bow and we're going to go into the middle holes below where we just put that hanger. Okay. And I'll turn it around so you can see it. And I kind of just move it more towards the top of that part so that it kind of hides the zip ties that are up in here. Okay, and you're just twisting. And then what you're going to do is just kind of, you can cut these a little bit or just tuck them back in. And just kind of push them down in there just like that. Okay. And then this is what it's going to look like. So like I said, you can kind of play around and do colors that you want to do. And that's what it's going to look like. So it's like I said, it's not really that hard. And this is what your pencil looks like. So I'm going to go through the bow with you. I know everybody has different methods of making bows. So I'm just going to show you how I make my bows. I have tried a million times to use the Easy Bow Maker, and I just can't do it. So this is the Pro Bow. The hand is what I generally use. It just tends to work a little bit better with my hands. So let me just bring this. So I use a pipe cleaner, and then I have a piece of 26 gauge wire that I use as the helping hand, they call it. Okay, and then I have my ribbon. So this cute little autism ribbon. And then there's a school one. It just has little pictures of different things, crayons, pencils, apples. And then I have this really cute, it's like a blue glitter to kind of bring it all together. Okay. All right. So basically what I did for my bow is this is the setup on my bow maker. So basically what it is these are 6-inch loops. These are my 5-inch loops. These are 4-inch loops. And then these are my 3-inch loops. Okay. Just want to kind of get that so it's not so bad. All right. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my autism ribbon. And I am just going to kind of pinch the end here. And I'm going to take my pipe cleaner and I'm going to just wrap my pipe cleaner around it twice. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of pull it tight like that. And then I'm going to clip off this little piece of ribbon, not the pipe cleaner, just that little piece of ribbon. Okay, and this is called your center here. And they're called like fingers, I think that she calls them. It just helps you hold. So you're going to take your ribbon and you're going to bring it around. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this pipe cleaner. There's a little slit in the top of this. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of put that in there and then I'm going to wrap it around. And then what I generally do when I use the pipe cleaners, because it's a little thicker than just the wire, I put a little clip on the top of it like that. Okay. This bottom pipe cleaner, there's a little nail here. You just kind of wrap it around that once like that. Okay. So then what you do is you take it, I'm going to pinch it and turn it up. So the good side is always this way. And I'm going to go around this second finger here. And then basically you're just kind of having it so it's turned up. You're pinching it and turning it. And then you're going to go around the same one on the other side. Okay. And then I'm just pinching and turning it. And what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to take that wire we were talking about and I'm actually feeding it down through that center loop. Okay. Towards the right hand side. Okay. So we're kind of going down and bringing the wire out through the right side here. And then I'm going to tie that off. And that's just going to help to hold all this in place as we keep putting our layers in. Okay. And just do a couple little twists there. So now I'm going to make some tails. So you can use your mat to measure here. So we're at a 10. So maybe I'll do, for this first set, I'll do 7. No, I'm going to do like 6-inch tails. So if I can use my row C here as my measurement and then go out to C here. So that's how I know that's where I'm going to put it. And then again, I just use this little helping hand wire that she has us put in there. Like that. And then I'm going to clip this off. And just be careful you don't clip your wire. And then I'm going to cut that in half and I'm going to dovetail this. So when you're using the Pro Bow, we're actually working from the top down. So this is actually our 3-inch and we're going to do 1 loop on each side. Okay. So I'm just going to bring those up. So the next color that I'm going to do is my blue glitter. Okay. So make sure I'm getting a little shadow here. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit for you guys. Let me see here. Just to kind of bring it a little bit. Let's see. Maybe that'll help so you can just see it a little bit better. And I'll just add a little bit more light here. All right. That's a little bit better, hopefully. All right. So now we're going to take our blue glitter. And again, we're just going to kind of pinch the edge here. Okay, and we're going to put that right. Your good side is facing the other ribbon. And we're just going to tie that off a little bit. Just like that, okay? And then we're going to clip that little edge off there. Okay, and now we're going to be doing the same thing. So now we're going to be using what they call finger number 3 here. Okay, we're going to be doing 2 loops on this one. So we're going to do the first loop this way. You just put your ribbon around there. You don't want to pull too tight because then you kind of start to pull this off center. You want to try to keep that as best in the center as you can. Okay. So it's a pinch and a twist. I'm going to go over the other one. We do a pinch and a twist. And now we're going to do another loop over the same. You can do it 2 ways. You can go right over top of this one again. Okay. Or you could take your peg out, move your loop, and then do it over it again like that. I tend to take the peg out. It's just easier for me. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm just going to take my peg out and then do another loop. It's like that. And then I'm going to just tie this off again. And I'm going to I want my tail a little bit longer this time. So we did C last time. So I think I'm going to go to D. And then I just kind of bring it over this way. And then I know right about there is where I want to pinch it. Just make sure your wire is up and down, and you're just going to put that right there. And we're going to tie that off like that. Just do a twist, and again, we're going to cut that off. And then we're going to cut this in half, and then we're going to dovetail it. Hopefully I didn't zoom in too much, guys. And then we're going to dovetail. And then that's going to go right up like that. Okay. And then we're going to take our school ribbon. Okay, this is this color here. And again, I'm going to pinch the end of it. We're going to turn the good side towards our bow. And we're going to tie that off. Okay. And I clip this. It just takes a little bit of the bulk off of it. Okay. So now for this one, we're going to be doing 1 loop on 4. And this is a 5-inch loop. Okay. So we had 3-inch, 4-inch, 5-inch, and this is going to be our 6-inch loop. So I'm just kind of doing just the 1 loop on here. And again, I'm just going to tie it with the wire. And I'm going to make this a little bit longer. So we did C, D. So let's go to let's go to F for this one. And I just kind of bring it over to this side. So I know right here is about where I want to be pinching. Okay. And again, the good side is facing your bow. Tie this off. I'm going to cut from our spool there. We're going to cut it in half. And then we're going to dovetail it. Okay. And I'm going to push those up like that. Okay. And now we're on our last one here. Okay. So now we're going to go back to, I'm going to go back to the autism one. And we're going to do 2 loops on here. So we're going to take our ribbon, pinch the end, good side towards the bow. Okay, and just fasten our wire there, clip our little excess. Just be careful not to clip the wire or your other ribbons. Okay, so we're just going to do a pinch and a twist. And bring it around this one. Pinch and twist. And now we're going to do another one on here. So I'm going to take this out And then just basically go right over this again. Pinch and twist. You just kind of use your thumb to hold it. And pinch and twist. I'm going to tie this off. Just like that. And then we're going to do a little bit longer. So we were at F. So I'm going to go a little bit past F. And then that's where I know that I want my tail. Because it's such a long wreath, I wanted longer tails just to kind of help fill some of that space. All right, so we're going to cut this off here. We're going to cut in the middle. We're going to dovetail. And then what I generally do is I clip this because I have the pipe cleaner on there. So I'm going to cut this wire and then I just kind of tuck it under a little bit. And then what I do is you're going to take all of your tails out. It's easier to do it when it's kind of like this because you can really give them a good tug and they're not going to go anywhere. Okay. And then we're just going to undo the pipe cleaner from the bottom. We're going to undo the pipe cleaner from the top. And then basically we want to just make sure I put a finger on the top and the bottom and just kind of push them down so they're kind of even. And then you're just going to wrap it around a few times and then you just lift it off. And there is your bow. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on my fluff box. I'm going to move this aside. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit because I don't think we need to be that far in for this part. There, that'll be a little bit better. Oh, let's go back this way. And get you more in the center here. Okay, so let me get my fluff box. Everybody fluffs differently, so it's not, if you do it by hand, I am just not that skilled. So this is my fluff box. I'm still working on bows. Bows are my challenge. I'm not that great at them, so I'm still learning. All right. So I'm going to take my pipe cleaner and it goes through this little eye hook and it just wraps around my nail there. And then what I do is I'm just going to kind of make sure all of my tails are kind of facing the right way. Just like that. And then I just turn it to the side like this. And I'm going to start at the back. So I just kind of take these and I pull them up. And then do a little twist. So I have these two are the outer, this one's kind of in the middle. And then I take these. So I like it. So it's, you have these two here, you have this in the middle, you have your two glitters, and then you have the autism one in the middle again. And then you have your little bow loop in the middle there. Okay, so that's one side. So then I just turn it around and do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so I just take these and I'm just going to kind of pull them and it'll turn on you, but it's nice because it does stay on the board. Okay, and then we have this one that's going to be in the middle again. So whatever you do on the other side, you're going to do on this side. And then we have our two glitters. And then we have our autism one in the middle again. Just like that. And then it just gives you a starting point because you're going to probably end up refluffing it when it goes onto your your wreath as it is. But basically there is your bow. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know this was kind of a quick one, but if you do have any questions, just, you know, shoot me a message or put it in the comments, and I will try to answer any questions that you might have. And I will put the supply list and the petals and whatnot, how many of you need of each. I'll put that in the description for you guys. All right. Take care, guys, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye.